and welcome to After the Hype with me as always, Brian and John.
Howdy, howdy.
Firstly, we have Tony.
Hello.
Almost always Ryan.
Hello.
Almost always Chewie.
Hi.
And Mackenzie,
Hello.
who I said I would only have on for animated films, but today's kind of animated.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
It might as well then.
it
Yeah.
really goes animated at one point, so it kind of works. But anyhow, so we should get started. Where have you been doing? I will go first.
Thank you.
I have been trying to watch a horror movie a day. I've been doing pretty piss poor at it, but I've gotten through a lot of them.
So you've only seen one this week.
I haven't watched. No, I did watch one this week. Was it this week? It might have been last week. Whatever. I watched the original Halloween.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And
Yeah.
I watched it with him, and it was
You
the
did.
first time I've ever seen
That's
it.
the main reason I turned it on, is because
What?
she had never seen it, and I was like,
Oh
ooh.
Aw.
my gosh.
Yeah.
What? And how was the experience?
I love the movie. It is one of my favorites. It's
Yeah, it's
shockingly good and surprisingly not very violent. Like there's next to no blood in it,
Right.
partially because their budget was so shit, but it's just an awesome movie. I think wall to wall, totally awesome.
And it's the beautiful Southern California version of suburban Illinois.
It sure
in
is.
Halloween.
Oh yeah, it was so very much not
It is-
Illinois.
Sunny and warm on Halloween day.
it might as well have said
happened
like
once
Sherman, Illinois.
or twice, maybe.
Never.
And by warm, I mean 45.
It'd be warm or snowing
Yeah.
or like 90 degrees out.
Yeah.
So it kind of worked.
For me on the first time viewing, it was weird just because I know I've seen so many shots from it
Mm-hmm.
and sequences that I like. Oh wait, I have seen this. I didn't know there was no blood. That was weird.
Yeah.
And I didn't know we actually saw his face. That was super weird for me.
It's brief, and it kind of felt.
But you see it twice at the beginning when he's crawling on the door of the car and
Well,
stuff.
it's really brief.
And then at the end when she takes his mask off, and both times I was just like taken aback, be like, wait, no, you're breaking a rule.
At the end
Well,
of the,
because he's in that one, he's not a classic monster movie monster. He's a real dude.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so it's okay that you can see his face because you know who he is.
And the detective was an idiot. Not the
Yeah.
detective, the doctor. The doctor was an idiot.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's my favorite character.
But
made
he has
me
that
really
line
upset.
of that, "Hey Lonnie,
Yeah.
get your ass away from there." It's
I was
so
just like,
fucking
you're
good.
such a useless, like, you're not helping anybody. You're just waiting for someone to start dying, and
Yeah.
then you'll do something about it. When he tells the cops to not let everyone know there's a potential serial killer in the area, they're like, that would be a bad idea. What?
I still think it's fantastic. That's
you
it
just
for me.
look at
We should
this-
move on to somebody else for today. We've got a lot of people to get through.
I'll go next briefly. I think the Cubs will have a good year next year.
There were so many references to
dang.
Back to the Future during that entire game.
I know.
The picture is changing.
It would have been, it would have been fun, but honestly, before the playoffs, before the postseason, they weren't expected to go very far, and they did a great job. And a lot of them are young and rookies, so I think they'll have a better year next year for sure.
All right, next.
I'll go next. I don't really have a thing that I've watched or anything because I've been so busy with work, but I did get a chance to meet one of my idols in terms of voice acting, Rob Paulsen, who played Pinky from Pinky and the Brain and Donatello from the Turtles. And then we talked about the shows that he's on that my daughter watches. Mm-hmm. So he's been on some of those same Disney shows I've seen over and over again. I'm like, I think that's Rob
awesome.
Paulsen. If I ever meet him, I'm going to ask. And I did. It was cool. And he narfed at me quite a bit.
Narf.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll go. I've been watching new TV because it's that time of year. Out of all the shows that came out, I'm going to go with The Grinder being my favorite.
Really?
Is that about
Is
is that
sandwiches?
inspired by the app?
Oh,
That is
yep, that's
not
what I thought of too.
inspired
Not the
by
Really?
sandwiches.
I just
No,
think of sandwiches.
It's the Rob Lowe, Fred Savage, I guess, lawyer comedy.
Are you sure it's not based
right,
on the
right,
app?
right.
Yeah, they really
I've
lost
seen-
I'd
me
rather watch
at the
show about
name.
sandwiches.
What name?
I've
The
seen
Grinder?
Yeah,
I
I've
was-
seen billboards for that.
The name is a joke in itself. Did you even watch it?
No,
I haven't
I
seen
said
it.
they
How
lost me at the name.
The Grinder is a show that Rob Lowe was on within the show, and he's known for it, and it's funny. You should just watch
So
it.
Fred Savage is the real lawyer, and Rob Lowe's
Rob
the
Lowe's
guy who
like
plays
the
him on
actor
TV.
lawyer trying to become a real lawyer
Okay.
because the show got canceled. It's awesome. It's really, really good. That's all I have to say about
I
it.
love Fred Savage, so
You should, because
I should
this is
give it
by
a
far the
chance.
best work. Wonder Years. But other than, either way, his best adult non-directing work.
Ooh, adult work.
Yeah.
Now I'm
Has
interested.
he been in anything as an
He
adult?
had,
Now you have my
he
attention.
Had, he had that office workplace
Working.
sitcom. Working. is what it was called.
Oh, I
This is
watched
better
that.
than that.
I totally
It was,
watched
and
that.
it was fine. It lasted
Yeah.
a few seasons.
Did it?
They had a reunion episode with everyone from Wonder Years. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the only episode I watched.
I remember I saw that in the news.
All right, next.
So I didn't realize we had to say like things we've been watching.
It doesn't anything you've been doing
Okay,
recently
because
that's somewhat
that's what
media
I've been
related.
doing.
Yeah,
What I've been doing. Well, okay, media related. I went to Disneyland this week because it was
Ooh.
Alex's birthday, and what really struck me was that
was a child.
yes, I
Pow.
mean, it hit me first, so I had to hit back.
Wait,
No, that's not at all what happened.
Or did you hit a child?
No, what I found really interesting was that we were in the very slim minority of people who were not wearing our Disney-themed T-shirts because we don't own any. But out of the million people at that park, I did not see any shirts repeated throughout the day.
Ah.
Like that, there's such a plethora of Star Wars and Pixar and Disney and classic characters and things crossed over with other things, and everyone has their own thing.
how are half of them not from Target? I see.
Yeah.
I mean, they might have been. It's just,
Superhero shirts
I
all the time.
kid you not, all day long, I didn't see shirts repeated.
How
Never.
bored were you that you were just staring at shirts
That was
all
really
night?
not
You
a question.
stand in lines all day long.
I
Dear
guess that's
Yelp.
And
Yeah.
everyone
I stared
has
at everyone's
crazy
shirts instead
there
of the
was
ride.
a guy, there
3
was,
stars.
There was a guy who had
Would visit again.
it was the Jurassic Park design, but it was the dinosaur from
Toy Story?
Toy Story.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? That,
Clever,
And
yeah.
that was the only one that day that I saw.
You
There
lost
it
me
is.
at Target. Who said Target?
For what I've been doing, whatever.
Where have you
Whoa,
been
whoa,
doing?
Where
whoa,
have I
hold
been
on.
Whoa, I
doing?
think
Where have
they're
you
what
been
I've been
My-
doing
for
is the
my-
new one.
With
Where
that
have I been
attitude,
doing?
with that attitude, I don't think we care
Oh,
anymore.
jeez.
I can talk about how I've of course been keeping up with the new episodes of Flash and Arrow,
Ah.
but of course the Flash is still being better than the Arrow, but I think the Arrow is starting to come back a little bit,
I
and
don't really care. I'm not missing anything.
I'm really super excited about the multiverse because they're not really touching on that at all in Arrow yet, but they're definitely that is probably the center of the season. Like this entire arch will probably be about the multiverse and the Flash, and I'm intensely excited by that. I really look forward to how they're going to handle it.
I'm only really gonna be excited if they bring in what's his name, Ezra Miller. Is that his last name? The guy who's playing the Flash in the new.
If they did
Oh,
that,
yeah,
I
no
would
way.
lose my
Yeah.
mind.
If
by
they brought
de-
him in as a Flash, I would flip the
I don't
fuck
think
out.
they will.
That would be amazing.
Because right now they're just having one opposite planet. Earth is going to be interesting. If they're going to bring in like 3 or 4, like that would be just like, whoa, you're really trusting your audience here.
They should do that as like the finale or something. You
Yeah.
thought 2 was bad.
Here's Ezra. We're
I
gonna move
thought
on.
you different media.
All right,
ones
guys.
who
All right,
wanna-
guys.
Yeah, we're
Break it
gonna
out
move on to
because- okay.
today.
Break it up. Break it up.
Move on to other crappy.
Yeah.
things.
We're gonna move into the excellent movie
enjoy
for
either of
today.
them?
No, he's talking about this crappy thing that
Yeah.
he doesn't want to talk about.
Oh, but
His personal life.
I watch them, but they're crappy. I accept it.
You don't even like the Flash?
It's better.
Well, that's true.
I'll give you that.
It's definitely better.
Yeah.
So at least you recognize that.
I like Arrow better, but whatever. We're
What?
not getting into it.
Never mind.
We're not getting into it.
The
You
Mummy
just like
Returns.
The
Emil's-
Mummy Returns.
Fine.
It's weird. I keep like agreeing and then disagreeing with you and then agreeing with you and
That's life with Tony.
yeah.
Uh,
It's complicated.
Soon you'll just give up and make fun of me like everybody else.
and he'll just go, fuck Tony. Um,
There
All
it
right.
is.
What if that's gonna be your child's first like sentence?
Fuck Tony.
that'd be so good.
If it is, I know who to blame.
this guy.
Probably take it.
Gaga, fuck you.
Oh, that would be so.
Andrew would be so
awesome.
mad
That'd
at
be
me.
so kind of awesome. though.
Okay, so for today,
That would
we are
be the best Instagram ever.
we are moving on from Fuck Tony. So today's movie is The
Hashtag.
Mummy Returns. It is the final episode of our Universal Horror Month. Thank you all for voting. I did not expect you to vote this way. As I stated at the end of the last episode, I thought there was no chance this would win.
I was so delightfully surprised.
I
I think everyone thought it was the Mummy and just clicked, and they were like, "Oh wait."
even if
this
it
is a
was The
different
Mummy,
movie.
how did Monster Squad not win?
I kind of thought we were gonna have to
Voters
watch
are
that one.
cruel.
I mean, I love Monster Squad, but I didn't vote for it because the Mummy was not a main character in that movie.
That's a fair point.
But we
So
said
I was
he
like,
doesn't
that's not a
have to
fair
be.
entry.
He was
And
a
it,
villain.
and the Mummy's
good
character
one.
arc in Monster Squad was pretty bad.
It was
went from like
amazing.
bad to
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm good now. No.
Yeah.
No.
Perfect.
No. Emotep.
So
Emotep.
for
Emotep
today,
listens to bad music.
the numbers really quick. On Box Office Mojo, it cost $98 million, which is a lot.
That is a lot.
It made $430 million,
Also a lot.
Holy moly.
and then it didn't get a sequel for years, which I find very strange.
That's so weird.
I think it
And
was
then once
because
it
of
did it-
actor availability.
That could be.
For that long?
They never even got Rachel back for the third one.
Yeah.
Well, that's because she
Did
said,
they-
I don't want to do it
I
again.
was gonna say, did she not want to come
Who
back?
they
Yeah, I
get-
think that was part of the problem.
Who replaced her? Was it Maria Bello, I think?
Was there another girl in it? I
Yeah,
can't remember. I
yeah,
haven't seen
she
the
played the
third
same
one
character. I had to look it
in a
up because I
long
never saw the third one. Because it looked horrible. But for some reason, I
I
like this
did
one.
see the third one. Not good.
Good to know. So the review for today comes from Hoboken. It's a Hadouken from Hoboken, which we have not had in a long time.
Yep.
But I bothered Nick and I said, hey, you haven't done one of these in forever. And he went, you're right, I'll do one. And this is what we got. The Mummy Returns. I have not watched this movie since... Wait, when did this come out? 2001? Since then. Here's what a 14-year-old Nick was thinking back then. Brendan Fraser was a movie star on the level of Schwarzenegger and Stallone. Rachel Weisz was hot, and I missed Benny from the first movie. I was convinced he was coming back somehow. I walked out of the movie disappointed mainly because they outrun the sun. I didn't know much at 14, but I knew this little thing called the speed of light.
Yep.
Even though there was a giant wall of wind and sand in the first movie that a fucking face appears in, I draw the line at outrunning particles of light. I can explain away the said wall. It is magic. The only explanation for the protagonists and their dumb son breaking their dumb son breaking not only the sound barrier but the light barrier as well as this: cocaine. Cocaine and a deadline. Cocaine, a deadline, and the writers looking at each other and saying, it's the sequel to The Mummy. Who cares? Pass the cocaine, please. Wait, there was only one writer, and it was Stephen Sommers? Good God. The Mummy Returns suffers from what most sequels suffer from, a rehashing of gags and set pieces that do nothing to further our relationships with the protagonists who we fell in love with in the first movie. Shit, I forgot to mention headphones, because I messaged him earlier saying, don't forget headphones, because I had the wrong window open.
Was this review helpful? Yes.
It's very well articulated, much more so than my Metacritic reviews, which are usually just who can type the worst. Yeah, this movie bad, good. And then I laugh and I read that one aloud.
Yep.
But that's it. So we're gonna move into the breakdown. And there's two people on, but who gets to do it? Tony does.
Wait, how much time do I have?
You have 30 seconds.
Let's make it 13.
Okay.
No, don't. No, I'm kidding. Oh, God.
There's a mummy and he returns.
Poorly.
Is that
He
it?
does.
I'll give you the 30 seconds. All right, I'm gonna stop delaying for you though.
I'm, gonna
And
try.
go.
I'm shooting for 13. What?
Go.
All right, Scorpion King starts off the movie. He's the main antagonist. No, he's not.
No.
Shit. Here we go. I got this.
20 seconds.
Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz have a kid 9 years later than the first movie. Their kid gets kidnapped. The people that kidnapped the kid are trying to raise Emotep to kill the Scorpion King. Because if they kill the Scorpion King, they take over Anubis' army and can take over the world. So basically the plot revolves around them trying to get back their kid and save the world while Emotep
Yeah, you're out of
and
time.
them try to kill the
That
Scorpion
was-
King.
Not bad.
I picked up at the end.
Yeah, that was a good summary.
Technically, you did run out of time though, because you wasted the first 10 seconds explaining a character that didn't really matter.
Scorpion King. It's the name of the...
Yeah,
The
but
movie
No,
that
no,
isn't
it
this
was
one.
the name of the next
Yeah.
movie.
To be fair, the movie also took way too long explaining this.
That's
Oh,
true.
totally did.
So
thought it
do we
was a
say
featurette.
success or failure?
It's
I
up to
think I'm
you.
right on the border.
Success.
Let's put this
It's
to a
Tony,
vote.
So failure.
I'll agree with that. I can say, since it's Tony, failure. We have 2 for failure,
There you go. All right.
3 for failure. Sorry, dude.
Bandwagon.
Bandwagon.
Mackenzie on my
I just
side.
want to
Thank
challenge
you.
Brian to come up with a good insult.
Oh, yeah, that's...
I really
wasn't
wish your
even thinking
baby
about
was
that.
right here right now so I could pick up his hand and go,
It's funny that you
If-
guys think you're going to ever
if
meet
you're-
my child at this point.
If your breakdown skills are any inclination to your skills as a father, your son is going to be an idiot.
Ooh.
And you won't even
Luckily,
listen.
my breakdown skills started off horrible, but then picked up at the end. So I'll gain track.
As long as you figure it out before like
This
10,
is also
he'll be
a
okay.
wonderful
Wow.
analogy for Tony's sex life.
Is it?
Apparently, I'm pretty good at it. How many times have you gotten pregnant?
that could actually be turned the other way that you're bad at it.
Off the record. Off the record.
No, that's what we were brought here to do. You're religious, you know this.
To this room?
What?
Wait, I was not
What's
told
going
that
on here?
when I was invited to this podcast.
Procreate premarital sex.
We're married.
Well, then get on it. You have no excuse.
So for today, we're gonna start talking about the movie now.
What movie was it?
I can
The
break
Mummy
it down for
Returns,
you.
because I don't think we actually said that.
We did many times.
Oh, we did?
I had to shout it at you to get you to stop talking about whatever you're talking about before. It didn't work.
No.
Try it again. Right now.
Where do we want to start in this thing?
Ooh, that's a good question. There's a
Is
lot.
Badass feminist themes.
How about the main character, the little boy?
He's
You
not
mean
the main
White Short
character.
Round?
Yep, he had the only character development in the entire movie.
He had no character development.
Yeah, no, he started out really dumb and he put on that stupid bracelet and then he got a little clever at the end.
He was never really dumb.
He was just
He
no,
was-
he wasn't
yeah,
dumb.
he
He
was
was
dumb
always
at the
just
beginning.
curious. No, he was just
No.
curious and clumsy. He
Actually,
wasn't
that,
dumb.
like, he started out by trying to fight the bad guys. I mean,
Oh,
granted,
he had
was
the
doing
good
it with a
heart,
slingshot.
but yeah,
He was
Just
far
because
from
you have a
dumb.
good heart doesn't mean shit.
you shouldn't
But how is he
open
dumb?
cursed
How is he
old
being
mummy
dumb?
relics and
He's
put
a
them on your
curious
wrist.
He's a
child.
kid.
There's,
Kid.
there's a
The mom
bracelet.
opened it up.
There's a level of logic.
Yeah,
there
the
that he's
mom
lacking.
opened it up, and she was like, "Maybe we shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway."
Well, they were also super bad parents throughout. Let's be
Just
honest
because they're
about
more
that
concerned
while
about
we're
making
here.
out
They
than
were
watching the
trusted
kid.
They
doesn't mean
absolutely
that.
were.
And they were
yeah.
really, really rich, so that's
Yep.
kind of just what happened.
I also don't know how that happened. From the first movie to this one, how they got stupid
All the-
rich.
I
all
think
their
she was
gold.
rich, right?
Did you? When was the last time we saw the first
Oh,
one?
yeah, it's
They
been a
left
while.
with camels
but-
filled with gold.
Yeah, so
Camels of
because
gold.
the brother wasn't rich.
Mm-mm.
But I agree. We should start by talking about I'll agree with Ryan, idiot kid.
Curious.
You don't put shit like that on your arm
kid.
and expect to
No.
be okay.
He's
No.
a kid.
It's
He's
a
an idiot.
bracelet. What do you
What
do with a
logical-
bracelet other than put it on your arm?
I was not a logical
at it.
8-year-old. I was a really dumb
Put it on
8-year-old.
someone
No.
else's arm.
I
But
would have
here's
put it on.
here's
He
why I
has
say he's
no
a-
friends. Whose arm is he gonna put it on?
That's a really mean thing to say. He has tons of friends.
You just called him dumb.
that was me.
Whatever. He agreed.
They're
I'm
all,
not-
all his friends are dead and undead. So
But
That's a
here's
sad thing to deal with.
Here's the thing: is I think he's an idiot kid because they paint him as a smart kid who does really stupid things.
Yeah.
Hence, idiot kid. I'm not saying that he's mentally stupid. I'm just saying he's a kid who learned hieroglyphics. Like, so he's a smart kid. He should know everything, but instead he's just a moron. It's
Right.
like,
He's
oh,
a
look at this
smartass.
relic. I'm gonna put it on my wrist.
because he's a
and
really
then
smart
lie
kid
to everyone
who's
about
8
it.
years old. Like
He
he's
lied
really
about it.
smart.
That's
He
what
knows
you do to your
hieroglyphics,
parents.
but
You
he's
do
still
something
curious
bad and
and
try to hide it.
childlike.
They just didn't set it up. Like that's the thing. If he can do hieroglyphics and he's socially awkward and just kind of dumb at life,
But he's
They
not
didn't-
socially
He's not
awkward.
dumb.
He's very charming and
Yeah,
charismatic
they
because
just
he's
didn't
his
set it up.
dad's son.
But he's not like a super genius. He just like he
I would
learns
s-
things and
He's
he's
a
a curious
kid.
kid.
I would say his worst trait is delivering lines.
But his best trait is waiting till the perfect moment to reveal that he's wearing the bracelet.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's just a movie trope.
I think if this kid is supposed to be the smart kid, the first thing he says is, it won't come off.
Yeah.
I tried it on, now it won't come off. Help me, it won't come off. My God, I just saw a 3D light show from the bracelet and it won't come off.
Right.
But instead, he tries to hide it under his jacket and puts a horse in the box.
Because he
What the
knows he
hell?
wasn't
It
supposed to
wasn't a
play with it.
horse.
He's not
It
supposed
was
to
a
be
baseball
playing.
player.
He's not supposed to be playing with the ancient relics. And
I
he
love
knows
how
that.
heated of an argument this is because I totally disagree with you.
Like he knows he's not supposed to be doing it, and so he's gonna go. Like, haven't you done this as a child? Like, oh, you
yeah,
messed
but we get
something
beat
up.
for it. Like we're supposed to.
You mess something up,
And
you're
that's
like,
why
well,
you
I'm
hide
not-
it.
I'm gonna go fix it. Like, I'm gonna go deal with this before mom and dad find out, and that way it'll be fixed, and they won't ever have to know.
I had
Okay,
so
so
many
moving
moments like
on to
that
why
as a
this
kid.
kid's still an idiot. So this genius kid, apparently, while being in the museums and learning all this hieroglyphics and all these multiple languages, also had time to become an expert sandcastle builder.
Right?
Like, what the fuck is that? Like,
Rain
throughout-
Man.
Yep.
And why would it kill him to just write where he's going? Like, just point your finger in the sand and write down, like, Pyramid of Giza.
He had so much time.
He had to go and ask for water that he's not going to drink. He's in a desert. He should probably drink the water.
Yeah.
Yep.
But instead, he
do
pours it
agree
in the
with
Maybe he
sand and
doesn't know
builds
the
a
name of it. Like, he saw it on the bracelet. Maybe he doesn't know what
But
that
they
place is
established that he knows
called.
all these places.
You should know this.
Because
yeah.
when
Yeah.
when Imhotep asked him about it, it's like, where are we going next? He's like, we're going to this place. He's like, all right, cool. We're going to go there then.
I don't know.
But instead of writing it in the sand, he has to build
Because
the
that
perfect
would
little
not
thing
be
and then
visually
start.
interesting.
And why is
That's
nobody
true.
realizing the kid's just stripping on the train? Like,
Okay,
wasn't
the,
this kid
the
wearing
jacket. I get what was the first one, like a
That's
star
just tie.
or his tie, that whatever, but the full jacket like right over it. Yeah,
There's
hot
nothing
out
here,
there in
guys. There's
Egypt.
nothing here.
How is that not obvious to like
Either that kid
everyone
building
in
I'll give you
sandcastles
the
or writing "Help me."
sandcastles.
I'd be more okay with him just writing where they're going. The sandcastles was stupid.
But it's more
But
conspicuous.
yeah,
to write
it's more
we're going
because
here.
no one's gonna know, like all the other the henchmen are too dumb to realize that he's giving them a clue. They'll see him building sandcastle and be like, whatever, that kid's building a sandcastle.
Oh no, they're
'cause
dumb
then
too.
They saw it at the end, and they knew what he was up to.
The one guy saw
Well,
it.
the
at the end.
one guy, the one smart henchman. All the rest of the henchmen
I
won't
see.
know. If he's writing in the sand, I'm going to wherever place, they're gonna.
I mean, I guess that's what they get for fucking with Adebisi.
Defended.
But you know who didn't put this much thought into it? The writers of the
Steven
movie.
Summers.
Totally did.
No, he
You're
did
right.
not.
The director did when he directed it.
The same guy. Wrote and directed it.
My point exactly.
Okay, beyond the actual character, can we agree that the actor sucked?
Yep.
I think he tried.
He wasn't great.
tried.
I think he was way better than a lot of other child
Yeah, that's
actors.
I'm really quick to
He
just
was no Macaulay
berate child
Culkin.
actors
No,
because
he
I
wasn't.
really
Who
hate
is
them.
that?
Like the child actors will ruin a movie for me like instantly.
There's
This kid
so
didn't do
many
it for
good
me.
ones though. There's so many good ones.
I think there's so few good ones.
There
or
are a few.
He
or
was so-
rather not even that they're so great at being child actors, but directors who know how to direct a child.
There's the difference. I don't think this
Yeah.
kid was necessarily terrible. I just don't think Steven Summers knew what to do with him.
It was
Yeah.
kind of up and down. Sometimes he could deliver a line, but then there were so many that he just not.
And that's
They get on set.
that right there is why I don't think he was a bad actor. Because I think there is if Steven Summers knew how to work with a child actor, I think he would have been fine.
He's like,
I
oh,
just
you
don't think he
they're
did.
not like little adults. Oh crap!
They're just shorter.
That is how
Can
I
we
take it.
They're
kill
just
him
shorter
off?
and have shorter times that are legally allowed to be on set.
That's what directors know about.
Yeah. Was there anything else we need to talk about with this kid, or should we move into the actual meat of this thing?
I wanted to draw one
Talking about
parallel.
Brendan Fraser.
If we're
Yeah.
talking about his characters, like one of the things that however much I enjoy this movie, and I can definitely talk about how much I enjoy this movie. I never really thought about one of the reasons why I think I love it so much is that there's a decent amount of parallels to the Rescuers, and his character actually reminds me of the boy from the Rescuers Down Under.
I could see that. I don't really like the Rescuers or the Rescuers Down Under, which I know, blasphemy, but it sucks. They're boring and they're terrible. There's a reason that people don't like them.
I haven't seen them since I was a kid, and
Oh
since
my god, they're
you
not
said that,
boring.
maybe I won't.
They're not boring and they're not terrible.
Boring and awful.
No, they're not.
I used to love them,
Thumbs
and then
fighting
somebody made me
words.
rewatch them, and I'm like, oh wow, these suck.
Sweet. I love them.
You should
I
have
won't watch them again.
continued to humor me, honey, because I'm not very happy that you just told me the truth.
Always lie to your wife.
Yeah, they're so good.
They are.
I agree.
And when I buy Rescuers memorabilia, you love it.
It's my favorite stuff. Should get a quilt for our bed.
This just became awkward cast. I am standing over here awkward. I'm
What about
John.
American
I'm sitting
Tail?
between them.
American Tail is really good.
So it's not a mice thing.
No.
It's- okay.
I'm fine with rodents. I have 5
Stuart
rats.
Little?
He just hates movies about mice.
Oh, movies about rats.
Mouse and the Motorcycle. I love that one.
How is he right?
That is another really good one. We have that book.
Great
I
Mouse
know.
Detective.
Anyhow, let's talk about Brendan Fraser.
Speaking of Great Mouse
Mr.
Detective,
Yeah.
Mr. Dashing.
This is where I'll start talking positively about this film because the kid I think is garbage. I think he tried, but he's garbage. I really like Brendan Fraser in this movie. I really like Brendan Fraser. I know I probably shouldn't because I
He-
like
Oh, I
movies,
love
but
I love
Brendan
But
Fraser.
this is
No
this
reason
is
not
the
to like him.
perfect kind of movie for him.
He-
Like
This
the
was the-
Mummy.
Encino Man was the perfect.
Well,
movie
yes.
for
George of the Jungle
George of the,
was.
Yeah.
but George of the
Oh.
Jungle is
Yeah.
like
That's the same
is
character.
like the
That's
Mummy.
true.
Like
Yeah.
he's like it's just silly and adventurous, and he can just have fun with it.
He
and
has
he
fun with
does.
his roles.
Yeah,
He
he
was
does.
at
has
the
a
top
sense
of
of humor
his
about
game
him.
in this movie, though. Like, this was the height of Brendan Fraser fame, wasn't it?
Dudley Do Right was, but whatever. We'll get there later.
Ugh.
That was the decline. That was the decline of Fraser.
But I really don't
What?
understand why he didn't do more after this. Like, cause like this was like, yeah, you're right. It's like the peak of Brendan Fraser, and then after this, he kind of started disappearing, and it's like, why?
I
think
think
that
he's
might be a
suffering
career
from the
choice.
same thing
It
that
could've
Anne
been a career
Hathaway's suffering from right now, where we loved you so
Batman?
much, and then you just kind of we started to hate you.
Well, it could also be that he's not a super serious. He's not necessarily a good
He was really,
actor. Like
he
he's
wasn't-
good in these kinds of movies.
he was
and
great
maybe
in
people just haven't
With
been
honor,
wanting him.
Gods
for
and
that.
Monsters.
whatever. He's been nominated for an Academy Award.
Yeah.
I think
I think.
For what?
it might have been for Gods and Monsters. He's
It's either
really,
that or
really
It
good.
is a
With
good
Honor-
movie,
with
yeah.
Yeah.
Honors. I forgot. Is that the name?
He
of the
can
movie?
be a very good actor. But he's got a little bit of Wahlberg syndrome where he needs a very good director to kind of point him in the right direction. But I thought he was really good in this one. Like, this is a movie where you could tell, like, he was reading the script going, ha, awesome.
Yeah.
And, like, every time he gets one line, go, ha, awesome. And then he just had a blast with it. And he's the only reason I think why I can still watch this movie and go, I love that movie.
Well, this is the closest that, I mean, of any roles that were out there or have been out there to being Indiana Jones without getting cast as Indiana Jones. This is about as close as you're going to get.
Yeah, like, if this was made today, you could see them, like, putting Chris Pratt in there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're going to have fun. Like, anybody would have fun in this role.
Yeah.
And in watching the movie, I'll give it. It's fun.
And
Yeah, that's all it tries to be is just fun.
Brendan Fraser is also genuine. Whether that's an acting style, but he's very genuine on the screen.
Yeah.
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 And not many people in that kind of a role like that. You get a Chris Pratt, and it's very kind of sarcastic, quippy, little bit.
I would say that Brendan Fraser is more genuine than Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
It's an like a generational thing, like quippy, sarcastic lead
Yeah,
men are
that's what we
in
kind of
right
want.
now.
They're in right now, and
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like
The
it.
Paul Rudds and the Chris Pratts and
The kind of asshole lead man.
Yep.
Like the asshole who's got a heart of gold.
Yep.
And Brendan Fraser isn't that. He's just a good guy.
he was,
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's what I think part of the reason why I still like this movie is because he's just a good guy. Granted, the first movie he's a criminal, right?
Yeah, but
I
a
haven't
criminal with a heart of gold.
True.
But not
All he
sarcastic.
needs,
But yeah, he wasn't sarcastic and quippy. He
No.
was still.
he's the classic one where all he needs is the good woman to set him straight.
I guess that's true because that's essentially
Sure.
what he ended up getting, and it worked out
For a
him.
kid, maybe that'll do it.
Yeah, or a shitty kid.
A shitty kid will definitely do it.
Shitty kid that for some reason came from those parents, which makes no sense
'Cause he's
But
whatsoever.
then they're
Well,
also shitty parents, so maybe it does make sense.
Oh, I guess it kind of works.
There
yeah.
you go.
Yeah, you shitty parents made a shitty kid.
Yep.
With your shitty amount of money. I
But
hate you
they
all.
fall
You should feel
dumb
bad.
luck backwards into success, and so did the kid.
I
might
guess
have
it
been wrong about the
all
Academy
kind
Award
of
thing.
works.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
Go this. Stephen Summers was working at this.
Wow.
Because yeah, I'll fully admit that this script isn't necessarily the smartest script in the world.
No one is saying that
No,
it is.
I don't think
ever.
anyone has
No one has
claimed
ever
But
said
I think
that.
I just generally enjoy this movie because of that. It's not trying to be smart. It's not trying to have any twists and turns to keep you on your toes. It's just like this. We're gonna run with this, guys, and we're gonna have a lot of fun, and we're gonna have a lot of one-liners while we're doing it.
No, it's movies like this one that kind of were like the predecessor to what we have today. Like, and I mean that in a bad way, because it's like things like this are just like, well, we're just gonna come up with a through line of set pieces. Like, so we're gonna have the bus chase through London that's gonna end on the bridge. We're gonna have the little pygmy things that are gonna kill them in the forest, and like we're gonna do this. And now how are we gonna get them from A to B? I don't know. Put some bullshit in there, and then we'll get from A to B. And they don't really care about how these huge action set pieces get together. They just kind of go, they fly a boat.
And that's actually another reference to the Rescuers Down Under in the way that they have the character of the pilot is very reminiscent of the seagull.
He was. That's true. Well, he had a leather cap on.
And just like his mannerism.
And it is a bird.
The bird was white.
Yeah.
Wait, what? He wore an eye patch for style.
Yeah.
I don't know, I would say in the mentality of the character and the going in the hangar and everything is
No,
a little bit of a mirror.
No, I agree with you. It's
Like I would put money on that Steven is a fan of the Rescuers.
I can see that.
Going back to what you were saying
Yes.
about trying to just shove details of the plot in to get them from point A to B.
Yeah.
I found myself, this was the first time I'd watched it since it came out, so I didn't really remember it. But I had watched the first Mummy a lot as a kid growing up. So when I was watching this again, I was trying to figure out what was happening. And so throughout much of the movie, the character of Anaksunamun, I was thinking, did she live at the end of the first movie? I'm pretty sure she died again. I don't why is she here? What's
This was
going
her
on?
reincarnated.
Well, yeah,
Right.
but they didn't
Yeah.
explain that until
Like
2/3
yeah,
through the
randomly
movie.
they bring her actually back to life. It's like, wait, was she not alive this whole time?
No, it was her
she was-
reincarnated. It was Rachel Weisz.
It was a woman
No,
who
it's
looked
the other
like
girl.
her,
No,
and
no.
then he brought Anaksunamun's soul into her.
Yeah.
But somehow she knew that she was the reincarnated
Probably had like a
version.
secret mystical
sure.
grandfather.
And
Well, she
then-
knew because Rachel
Yeah.
Weisz knew. Same way.
Rachel Weisz didn't know until she started having the flashbacks.
See,
so
this is
maybe,
the problem.
Maybe Anaksunamun started having them at the same time.
I'm assuming so.
That was about 2/3 through the movie that we find that out.
Yeah,
So
that was a
for
little
most
late.
of it,
Clued
I'm
into that
wondering
right away.
why
I didn't.
Anaksunamun's there.
I did.
I remember watching this as a kid going, wait, so now she's an X in the moon? Like, wasn't she already? I
No.
don't
Also,
understand what
I
just
was
happened.
going, she died in the first movie. Why is she here?
Yeah, that was kind of a misstep.
I haven't watched the first movie in ages. I've seen this one way more than I've seen the first one.
So have I, and I don't know why. I feel kind of bad for me, but either way, I kind of do want to talk about the Imhotep and Anux and the Moon pairing.
Yeah.
Nux and a moon.
They had
A
some
Nux
on-screen
and a
chemistry. You know?
Badass
they
and
did.
Moon. I love her.
Making out with the
I-
mummy.
I
Yep.
love her.
I
I
liked
do
it.
like her, and I know that she's not really. She was a swimsuit model, right?
Right. Nothing else on her under her belt.
Yeah, and
Literally.
Whoa!
She ended up being Job's
innuendo.
girlfriend in Arrested Development
was that her?
before they recasted her.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
She played the character first, and then they cast it with somebody else.
Who could act?
Oh yeah, she
Oh,
was that first
The
one.
maid girlfriend.
Mi hermano.
Yeah. Oh no, wait. Was she an actor? I forgot now.
Yeah, that's right. I knew I saw her in something.
But I didn't think. I know she's not an actress, but I don't think she did bad in this.
No.
No, she
No.
I
delivered.
thought she. Yeah, I thought like as far as like the
I believed her as this character the whole time.
like this movie did a really good job, and we'll move into this one momentarily. But it did a good job having like badass women, which
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
at
one of the
early
reasons I love it.
2000s they didn't really have a lot of that.
No.
They showed up every now and then, like you had like Fifth Element and that sort of stuff, and
Right.
it was kind of becoming more the norm. But this one had a pretty good job of these women do not need to be saved by men.
And they end up doing the saving
Right.
at the very
Yeah.
end.
Well, one of them does.
One of them does. Yeah.
The other one runs away and goes.
Well, that's when you
cockroaches."
find out who is the true love, and who just thought he did.
Which I kind of have a problem with. I mean, they fought for each other over centuries and
Yeah.
death, but
Two movies.
2 movies of trying to come back together. But at
Yeah.
the very last moment, she's like, you know what? Never mind.
Well,
That
I
is true.
I could see it from her side. Like, I've died 3 times at least for this dude. Like, am I gonna die again for him, or am I gonna go try and make a life for myself?
Like,
now
at what
that I have
point
another
do you
chance.
stop doing the same thing and expecting different
Yeah,
results,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
You do make a good point.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it like that. That kind of
This is a better movie than we thought.
goes Steven
She's,
Summers.
you know, I
All right,
really-
We need
Five
to
out
tell
of
him that
five.
we
Yeah.
justified his movie,
Yeah.
and he will listen to this podcast.
An Ox and a
He'll be
Moon
fascinated.
is a strong woman that
She
don't
is.
need no man. She wants her man, but she don't need no
She
man.
fought for him, and then
Yeah.
it just didn't work out.
She schemed for him too. Fought and
She did.
schemed.
And how'd he thank
And
her?
murdered.
And looked very sexy the whole time.
She did.
Yeah, she did.
Her outfits were great.
looked
The
really good.
the
She had some real-
seamstress on this movie was wonderful.
Yeah, she did a really good job having some post-removed nipples.
I don't remember
I
that.
don't remember that.
I remember from the first one.
Oh.
And then
But
this
I
one, they
loved-
just
I
weren't there
loved her
anymore.
Wait,
wardrobe
how
because
old were you when
Rachel
this first
Weisz
one
is
came
all
out?
very,
I remember
like,
boobs.
you know,
Kind of
professor,
flowy.
you know, going through the exploring the pyramids, and then Anux and Moon's like glam girl.
Very form fitting.
Yeah,
Exploring the pyramids.
beating people up with her luscious black gloves. I love it.
There was that one funny kind of, I don't want to call it rapey, but it was very like, I really want to make out right now, and I know I'm gross as a mummy, so I'm just gonna glamour you to make you think that I have skin for this moment.
I mean, I think they both kind of wanted to
Isn't
make
that like
out.
Yeah,
all,
no, I totally
And it's
get
just
it.
like,
She
I'm
knew
just
what
not.
she was on board
It's
for.
just
Yeah.
really funny
Isn't
to
that all club experiences?
She's
Yeah.
not shallow.
I just
She doesn't
really
care
love
about
watching
looks.
that because that actually
She
makes
loves
it.
him for him.
Just in that
Cockroaches and all.
Yep.
in that sequence, you totally like see how she's actually really good at this character because her facial expression when he's leaning in is like, oh god, no.
You are a
And-
rotting corpse right
Yeah,
now.
and then he just kind of waves his hand in front of her face, and then she goes, "Oh, okay."
Oh,
It's just such a
Imhotep.
wonderful little moment
I'm
of
so
cross like
superficial.
facial expressions.
Thank you for removing the holes in your face. Because those were gross.
Before you put them on
Those
my
weren't, those weren't working for me. I couldn't deal. Where was I kissing? Like what?
Yeah.
Which hole do I go for? Your cheek or your mouth?
And which? I mean,
Well, she starts stroking the hole with her hand.
That would, if they just let it play out, just one more second of, damn it!
oh, that's so
no.
gross.
So-
Imhotep!
When they filmed that, was she alone, or was there like a dude in a green
Oh, she
screen
just stand there going-
costume, like a Green Man?
I'm pretty
I
sure
want
they
those
had a green
dailies.
man.
And she was. Did they cut a hole in his his fabric mouth or
His face.
His fabric
Either
mouth.
way, the,
No,
the
there's
raw
no hole.
footage
These
of
are the
that
logistics I
sequence was
wanna know
probably
about.
really funny.
I know. I would
yeah, I
love
want
to see it.
I want to see the.
This
the raw
whole
footage.
movie,
Yeah.
them like running from nothing through the grass, and
There was
Oh.
no grass. It was
Running like
30
oh, there
Rover,
was
like,
no grass. They're just running
Did this
like
movie
left
come
to right
out
on a green
before or
screen.
after Lost World?
Before.
Oh,
After.
'cause the whole
After.
rapid
Because
sequence,
yeah, it's
yeah.
the don't go into the tall grass. That's all
Yeah.
I could think the
Why
whole
not?
time.
Oh.
Oh.
Uh, I want to move a little bit more into like the kind of the comedic relief sort of stuff before we talk about Rachel Weisz a little bit, because I think she's probably the best thing to talk about in this movie. Or we could talk a little bit more about Imhotep, but I don't think there's really much to say about him.
He's
other
a
than
mummy.
was not
He
very-
returned.
Well,
He
you,
wasn't
you,
really a
wanted,
main
you
character.
started going into the female empowerment.
I had, but that was more for.
Nox Silver Moon.
It's called setup.
I mean, we did vote on this to talk about the Mummy.
I guess that's true. So we
All
probably
right,
should.
Imhotep.
Okay, yeah, let's
Wait,
talk.
I
Is
wanted
there
to
any more to
mention
say?
one more fun moment if we're moving on from the female empowerment of Nox Silver Moon.
Okay.
When the flashback when she and Nefertiri are fighting and she throws her daggers and they land in the crotches of the statues.
So good.
It's my favorite part of the movie.
This movie's
Wow.
very self-aware.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But let's talk Mummy then. We did set this up to talk about the Mummy, and it is the universal incantation or contagion. Whatever.
Incarnation.
Thank you. Words of the Mummy, which is Imhotep. And I like the first movie. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I like
really
what they
like it.
set up.
Yeah.
That guy, and I like that they're actually able. I mean, it really kind of felt like, how the fuck are we gonna bring him back and have him relevant to the story? And it feels like they had a good long talk about that, and I don't think they did a bad job. This movie reeks of sequel. Like
It's pretty
Every-
self-conscious.
yeah, I mean, it's
Like,
I made the
itself sequel.
yeah, like I made the joke to Chewie when she was watching this earlier today that like, short of the cameras, like the people looking into the cameras and going again,
Yep.
like it's like that.
They have, and before your quote, they have the again lines twice.
Oh yeah, just like old times, huh? Like that sort of stuff.
Well, it's
Or-
the old take over the world ploy again.
Or if a few years ago I would have thought this is really weird.
Oh, no harm came from open up. Over
Nope.
there. Open
You're doing as well with words as I am.
Oh yeah.
There was no harm ever came from opening up a chest. Oh, well, that's
Sorry.
what we said about reading a book, okay?
Yeah. So
Oh my
clearly this thing
gosh.
reeks of sequel. But even with that, I think they did a good job bringing in Imhotep into this movie and still having kind of a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
I
they
like
did.
that like they do a good job of when he has his full mummy powers, no one can really touch him. Like they always talk about like my dad is going to kick your ass.
Right.
And it's like
How?
he wouldn't. Like I'm sorry kid, he would have lost. I know he won last time. I don't really remember how, but he wouldn't this time. If it wasn't the fact that he walked through the magical statues things that made him immortal, he would have lost.
Yeah.
Like they made him super powerful in
Yep.
this. Like when all the people were firing their guns in the general area of the kid, like definitely not at the kid because otherwise somebody would have hit him. But in the general
very-
area, and he just kind of like waves his hands and people just go flying. Like this dude is overpowered as shit. But I kind of like that. I like that they made him like an actual monster, which I thought was cool.
And then they just took it away with the MacGuffin, though.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the whole reason that he was there was to kick the Scorpion King's ass.
Right.
And then they show up like, oh, by the way, you're not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah.
What?
By the way, we didn't mention it's a cook-off.
How's your baking, bitch?
Since I don't remember the first one very well, and I feel like I really need to remedy that, like this weekend, the sequence when they put those three nameless henchmen and the only one that we care about, the "this is cursed" guy, into that room, and Imhotep's playing with them essentially.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they have that little bit of like mummy humor in the first one.
It's not human. That's like the first act. The first one is like hunting on the people who had those
Yeah.
organs, so he can turn back into like the
But
full
does he
flesh and
play
blood.
with
dude.
them? Because
No.
I like
No, he hunts him
No.
down and kills him.
See, because
He's
I love
just-
that.
It's kind of brutal and awesome.
I love that entire sequence where they start shooting at him and he just goes "Wah, ha 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 ha," like he's getting like a tickle from the bullets. And then,
Tickle fight.
Oh yes, tickles. I like tickles.
and then she goes, and then the other girl goes, "Yeah, he wants you to open the chest. Open the chest.
Open my chest.
Like, and you know she's probably laughing while she's saying that.
Well, she kind of
'Cause
was
you're
laughing.
an idiot. And so then Imhotep's on the ceiling, just kind of circles the guy, kind of laughing at him while he's doing that.
This
and then
guy's a
sucks him.
riot.
And I just thought, like, this is the mummy having fun being a mummy.
It makes sense if you liked Friday the 13th. It's exactly what Freddy Krueger does.
Essentially, yeah. I'm just like, I love it when kind of like when I watch a cat trying to eat a squirrel. They play with it
Really
first.
morbid.
Like
You do that often?
when I was younger.
I love watching animals die,
What-
especially when someone's having fun
Yeah.
doing it.
They're
What are your plans for Tuesday night? I think we should watch some
I'll fully
Squirrel,
admit that.
Squirrel Death.
There's just something fun watching a predator play with its prey.
Interesting.
You say that until a bear plays with you before it eats you.
Or like you're cornered in an
Hopefully that
alley
never
with a
happens.
rapist.
I'm not sure if that's ever
Yeah.
going to
Hopefully
happen.
that ever happens too.
Or the rapist.
You get attacked by Winnie the
Tony,
Pooh. Oh, bother.
Stop
Oh,
threatening
bother.
me with rape.
I didn't threaten you. I said
Tony, shush.
cornered in an alley with a rapist, and you're the one that brought up rape first,
When did I bring up rape?
saying that Emotep kind of rapied her.
I said it's not really a rapey thing, but it's
Rapied?
Made up a word.
Stop talking to us like we're a kid.
Unless he used a rapier. But then that would
Oh
have
my
been
god,
awesome.
Emotep the pirate.
Arr, I'm a mummy.
You're
Was
about
that-
to get
was
rapey.
that in one of the-
Why
was that in
couldn't
one of the
that-
sequels?
Why
straight to
couldn't
DVD?
that
I
have been
hope
the
so.
third one?
It would have been great
It was.
The third one would have been better.
because everyone loved The Rock in this one.
The Mummy 3. Arr, rapey. That's like 16 R's, by the way, for those listeners.
Yeah, if you're transcribing this for us.
Sorry. Sorry.
Okay, so let's move on to
Let's-
Rachel Weisz. I guess that'd probably be the easiest place to move on.
Yeah.
I
From
miss Rachel
And
Weisz.
She's so
Actual
great
actor,
in this
she's
movie,
so
except
good.
Why
she
can't
apparently
she-
has no peripheral vision.
That is kind of weird.
Right? I'm so on point the entire time, but stabbed. Oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah, the whole movie,
Yeah.
she does a great job of just kicking ass and
Yeah.
taking names and just a complete badass. From beginning to end. And then one point, a girl just walks up and is like, "Oh, you're not. I'm just gonna stick this right in there, and I'm gonna walk away."
It reminds me of the scene from Monty Python where the old man's giving the speech and Lancelot just rides by and cuts him in half.
Well, I think maybe she just wasn't expecting it because she didn't.
Clearly, she
She,
wasn't.
I
she
hope
didn't.
she wasn't.
She didn't ride by with her knife in the air. She
Dear
just walks up
diary,
to her and
today I'm
just
gonna
goes,
get
"Meep."
stabbed.
It's even worse.
I will
Like,
say,
okay, how's it going? Stab. Bye.
But it was so much just like, "Oh, you dropped this."
Yeah.
but the only defense that I could have for that in that moment is that she had like the mom tunnel
Oh,
vision.
totally.
Because
Sure.
she was just so relieved that her son wasn't dead, so she was just staring at him. So then, yeah, you lose a little peripheral vision for a moment, and Nux of Moon got in that moment.
That's the only defense you
they
need.
forgot that they needed to kill her somehow in order to bring her back to life, so they just
Right.
threw that in on set last minute. I bet.
Mr. Summers, we're bringing her back to life, right? Yeah, yeah.
She's died first.
She hasn't died. Oh,
Shit.
You know what's weird too? She got way more attractive in this movie. Like rewatched the first one. She's
Well, she was
pretty.
supposed to be
Well,
the
she
little
wasn't
librarian girl.
like her outfits in this one are very va-va boom.
But even
I mean,
that,
her
like
boobs
her
are
face,
out.
she just got prettier. I
Well, I
don't
think
have
she
no
And
had
idea
her,
why.
her
those
hair
pyramids are on display.
her
Oh,
hair was like totally blown out.
I think
on
she
this
had kids
one,
in
and
between
her
these
makeup
movies,
and
so
I'm
her
not even
boobs
sure.
just got bigger for the food factor.
she had at least one kid. She's
Talking
an
about her
idiot.
face,
Yeah.
Not even talking about her boobs. Who brought up boobs? I'm talking about face.
Well,
I
no,
didn't
but
bring
like
up
in the
boobs this
first
time.
movie, I think they didn't. They made her up to really just be kind of like the frumpy professor girl. Like they had her hair back, and they didn't do much makeup, and her like she was very buttoned up. And in this one, she's like, I'm my own woman now. I can do whatever I want. So
I'm
she
a
was
free
boobs
thinker.
Out,
It worked.
Full makeup,
It really-
full hair.
It felt to me like the first time they hired her because she was a good actress, and then somewhere between 1 and 2, they went, "Isn't she kind of hot?" Oh yeah, she is kind of hot. Why do we do that in the first one? Because they didn't really change much about her. I mean, they just
No.
put her in like better fitting clothes,
Yeah.
and they put more makeup on her. I mean,
I think they actually
And
used
her, it
less
was a
makeup.
lot of
Or-
hair.
They
more
just
or
did a
less,
lot of
whatever.
eyeliner, but that's because they were pushing the Egyptian thing.
yeah,
Right.
which
So marriage was actually good for her because she actually came into style.
and having a kid.
yeah,
Like
Huh.
Brendan Fraser was the one with style in that relationship.
but enough objectifying her.
I'm
No, I'm not saying. I'm not. I was
also a
happen
really
to be
good
looking.
actress.
I think A, she was a really good actress, and B, I think this is one of my favorite roles that she has in outside of like Brothers Bloom, which I think is her best role ever.
Have you seen The Whistleblower?
No, I have not.
She's amazing in it.
She's amazing in Brothers Bloom. She makes that
She
movie.
also but like she
fantastic.
gives
Definitely
100%
maybe.
of this.
She's the main catalyst to this movie.
She is.
Yeah.
She
Starts the plot by taking them into that catacombs first.
she does. She is the person who fucked up the most in the beginning of this movie, and then
Fixes it.
No, she dies.
she dies. She fucks up. She starts all of this thing in motion, and then she dies.
Yeah, but then she fixes
But
it.
the thing that I like about
She's
that,
trying to
She
fix it along
fights.
the way.
but I like that she's an active character in the movie. Like a
Yeah.
lot of time in like especially like the summer blockbuster thing, the hot chick is just the girl going, "Help me," and
Yeah.
that is not her in this movie.
No.
I mean, when she dies, she just dies. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that her kid could read hieroglyphics, she would have been dead there.
Yep.
But honestly, it was never in a like I'm in distress moment type of thing.
Right.
No, but I think that's why I like her so much in this role, because I think that she completely owned it. She owned everything from fucking up to I'm back, go help your dad. Like she was just a solid character.
Oh yeah, the first time I watched this movie in theaters, and it was so wonderful to see a female character say "I got this," and it's actually true.
Yeah,
'Cause
when
there's been-
she tells her brother to like get out of it,
Get
to
out of
go
here, I
fight
got-
on
yeah.
Moon, like why don't you fight someone your own size? Like it's a cheesy line, but she's like, don't pick on him. He's a little weenie asshole. Like
Like
Fight me.
we got Bad Blood Girl. Bringing it to the Taylor Swift thing.
yeah.
But yeah, and so many times there'll be in a movie where a girl will have the "I got this" moment, but still at the end she'll somehow fuck it up. So she'll still need the guy to help at the end.
Yeah.
This
and-
time she totally does just on her own the whole time during the entire fight, and she's wonderful.
Yeah, and I love both the old-timey Egyptian fight and the current one. And I mean, it's a little short in the at the end of the movie between the two of them, but they're both really well choreographed, and they do a good job
Yeah.
mixing in the stunt doubles with the real actors. And I think it was just both those fights were, for me, the highlights of the movie.
I think the girls actually learned a decent amount of, not martial arts, whatever that would be called, just
Fight
combat.
choreography.
Yeah,
just fight
no,
choreography.
they definitely did. It wasn't until they started flipping that you could tell their stunt doubles
Yeah.
there. As soon as
Yeah.
they started like doing handstands and that sort of stuff, it's like, oh, suddenly they're a lot taller. But that was fun. I mean, I'm no problem with that. I'm a fan of Buffy. I mean, whenever Buffy gets into the action, suddenly she gains
Oh yeah,
50
her
pounds.
stunt double was terrible.
Her stunt double was huge. And not like big like a fat girl. She was just a muscular girl.
It didn't help that so much of Buffy looked like Sarah McGellar was having eating problems.
Yeah. Which, I mean,
Right.
they did a much better job in this movie
Yeah.
casting the stunt doubles where
Oh,
they look,
yeah.
they're just a little bit taller, but that's fine.
Did you call her Sarah McGellar?
She did.
I totally
kinda-
didn't want to
she
say the
didn't-
whole name.
She realized that we're on a tight schedule here.
Right.
There's no room for third
I
name.
don't got no time for this word stuff.
Sarah McGellar.
I'm just merging it together.
I love it. Totes a breathing this shit.
What haven't we talked about? What do we need to move into?
The brother.
The Rock.
The brother and the Rock.
The
Yeah,
Rock.
the
I think
brother
The
and
Rock.
I don't care enough
the
about
same
the
character.
brother. Yeah.
The brother is just such a non. I mean,
He's
he's
the
like
buffoon character.
But
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
brings
He's
so
the
much
plucky,
joy to this movie.
plucky one-liner character.
I mean, he's great, and one of my favorite parts is when they're in the running from the little munchkin mummy guy.
Pygmy
Yeah.
mummies.
It's like they won't cross the tombs.
You know,
he ducks out of the way
My
and gets
bad.
stabbed. Yeah.
I'm sorry. That scene is so funny.
It really is.
And even when he has this one moment of pure sincerity when him and Rachel Weisz are the snipers, and she just looks at her brother and says, "That's my family down there. I'm counting on you." And like just his response, like those little moments in this movie is what really makes it great to me, because
Yeah.
you can really feel their like family moment
Yeah,
right
because
there.
that's what I did like about Jonathan. Like he is such a useless human being for so much of his life, but when it is important, he really pulls through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not you, John.
oh,
Like,
it's like, this is bullshit.
like, yeah, when they're up on the hill shooting, like he makes a few good shots
Yeah.
and
He
saves
makes the
his
last good
brother-in-law.
shot, yeah.
And at the end, when he's gotta like go open the freaking spear thing, he bumbles about it, but he figures it out.
Oh my god! And then the very end of I hope this isn't anyone's quote, but when they're pulling him up, and he sees the diamond, he's saying, pull me up, pull me up. No, put me down. It's not worth your life. Yes, it is.
Very Indiana Jones.
It was so wonderful.
Well, and I guess I like too that they give those human moments, those more competent moments in there, because it's so easy to just go full buffoon.
Yeah.
Right.
And
yeah.
I was already like,
he's a little more
it's
human.
already in the danger zone there, where it's like, okay, this is getting a little good human moment. So that it did redeem itself a bit.
They did. Steven Summers, I'm telling you.
That it has good balance for me.
It did. Surprisingly, when you're watching, it doesn't feel like it. When you're talking about it, it's like, oh shit, I guess he did kind of have a plan.
It was too long. That's really what it was. It was too long. It was like 20 minutes too long.
Yep.
I'd give it
The
15
The
minutes.
first 20 minutes shouldn't have been in it.
Let's
I
talk
can
about
agree
that,
with that.
because I think that's exactly right.
Yeah.
The Scorpion
why do
King
we
is
have
what
to
ruins
see
this
what the
movie.
Scorpion
For the- yeah.
We didn't
need
need
to
the
know.
epilogue, or
No,
not the
the
prologue.
The
We
prologue.
didn't need
No,
the
we didn't need
prologue.
it. We totally didn't need it. I get that's like, fuck, The Rock wants to be in movies. He's huge in the WWE. I think it was F at the time.
Yep.
It's like, man, we want to smell what he's cooking. This is going to be
Yeah.
great. He's not that good.
No, he did everything but the rock bottom in that movie.
Yeah.
That would have made it better. Like, oh, I get it.
He's good now.
Yeah, he got
He's
better.
great now.
Oh,
Yeah.
he
Got better.
In a few weeks, we have Fury 7 coming up. He's probably my favorite part in the entire movie. Like, he got awesome. He didn't just get better. He became fantastic. But in this one, he wasn't quite there yet.
He was trying. He didn't know yet.
He was
a beginner.
trying, and I appreciate the effort because it's funny, but it shouldn't be funny.
But to be fair, he didn't really do anything in this movie either.
No, he just kind of showed up. How do I pronounce this in Egyptian? Like this.
Yeah.
I don't got it. I'm going to say whatever I want.
Yeah.
All right, good enough. And that's what he did.
But
And
even
I
like-
forgot that he even had lines. It doesn't matter.
No,
he just
no,
was
but-
he was the beginning clashing swords, and at the end as a computer.
Well, at the end, he
Animated
wasn't
thing.
even there. It
No.
was animated.
Mhm.
In
That
the
was-
beginning.
The ending, the rock monster, if you will.
monster.
Stop.
That's the only main thing in this movie that really dates it.
It dated it the day it came out. The
Yeah.
day it came out, we went, that looks
Yes, it
horrible.
did.
Really bad.
Like, they would have been better off having The Rock fight them.
I
Just
honestly,
as himself, wearing like one puppet claws. Just
be
wearing
great.
puppet
Not
claws
even
on
that.
his
Just
hand.
have The Rock fight him.
Yeah, why? Having The Rock fight him would have been awesome. He's
Yeah.
huge and terrifying. He could have thrown in some wrestling moves, and we all
As
like,
himself,
oh yeah.
as himself, he's
and-
terrifying as hell.
Yeah, he's a huge, terrifying person that I want to give a
Right.
hug to. But
and
still,
that would have
Absolutely.
made sense because the mummy, when he becomes his full form, he's a human. So why couldn't the Scorpion King have just been a dude?
Right.
yeah,
He had to be way overpowered. I'm gonna take your powers, and I'm gonna be an animated monster.
Yeah, and I
Good
just-
luck punching me.
Well, 'cause even as a human, he'd be 3 times the size of that actor.
Well, would he? The guy who
He's-
plays.
I
It's a
think the-
large man.
I think the problem
I don't-
was, and what they came, the realistic way they, or reason why they did it was because everything was so big up to that point.
Yeah.
If you had 2 dudes fighting for your climactic final battle,
Slap fight.
people would have just been like, "This is boring."
No,
No matter how cool it would be.
no, I think you're right. Because I mean,
Yeah.
after having like the canyon water chase, which I mean looks cheesy, but still looks better than the rock monster at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that would have been too small. I think you're right.
It's like you kind of painted yourself in a corner there. It's like you go too big, and now you have to go bigger.
Right.
We're not ready for bigger. Well, you kind of have to go bigger.
Yeah.
Just
We don't have
do
the
it.
budget for bigger. Well, let's get some.
Let's just
interns.
do it, and you know what? People will forgive us in a few
We'll
years.
make
Maybe
him out
Chewie
of
will.
clay.
We won't. How many years ago?
I
14
totally
years
admit
later,
that's bad
We're
animation.
still mad about it.
It was so bad.
Because the thing is,
Yeah.
like the I forget the name of the god's army, but like the
Anubis.
Anubis's army,
The noobs.
they look corny, but they don't.
They look pretty good.
They still look fine. They
Yeah.
look fine for what they
Yeah.
are, because they're supposed to be kind of sand smoke monster things. Like, all right, yeah, I can get
If
on
they're
board
running
with
at
that.
you, you're still kind of like,
Yeah.
I should run away.
The only
Yeah.
problem,
Those
Mummies?
the mummy guards in the beginning from the first one.
Yeah.
Like those look good,
And they
so
look good
the
in this one
Anubis
again, too,
army
yeah.
looks good too. Like all of that looks fine.
We're losing budget, guys.
Yeah.
I don't
Cheaping
think
it up.
They
Cheaping
ran
it up.
out.
I
They
don't
ran
think,
out of money.
I don't think that's ran out of budget. I think they just shot too far. Like it's like, okay, so we can do this humanoid thing that has a dog face, and we can do this humanoid thing that's a mummy that can open its mouth really far and gets gunk in your eyes on your fingers if you poke in the eyes, but it's the dumbest joke in the whole movie. Ugh!
it's like
I
they
laughed.
wanted
I
to do the
did.
Three Stooges joke.
I laughed too.
somehow.
I shouldn't have, but I did. But when you go to like, all right, so we can do humanoid things. How about half scorpion, half man? No, we can't do that.
And it has to look
Nobody
kind
said
of like
that.
the
They were
Rock.
like,
It has
yes,
to
we
look
can.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, and
they
then
looked at Steven
their boss
Summers and
left.
went, "Yes, we can do it." And then he left the room and they went, "We can't do that, can we?" No, we can't do that at all. But we're gonna do the best we can because they already paid us.
Yep.
And that's what we got. And it's not. It doesn't ruin the movie, I don't think. But I know a lot of people who will. Like I saw this movie 3 times in theaters when I don't remember what grade I was in when it came out, but I loved it because I felt like I was watching like a new Indiana Jones, as we said earlier. Like that's what I felt like I was watching, and I was so excited about it. And then the second and third time I took him to see it, when it gets to that ending, I think it was my dad the first time, and I think it was my sister the second time. We're just like, that movie is horrible. I'm like, but you were having so much fun up until the end. Like, yeah, but the ending's bad. I can't. No,
It's like Sunshine, in a way.
it's
that way.
worse than Sunshine.
It's worse than Sunshine, but it's like that's what we hear from a lot of people that
Yeah.
say they don't like Sunshine just because they don't like the end.
Yeah, but I mean, granted, Sunshine is the entire third act. This one is really just 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
But it's a
last scene.
really shitty 10 minutes, and it's
It's not even shitty. It just looks dumb.
it just looks shitty because the idea I still don't think is bad. Like the whole like, okay, so you have to fight it, you get Anubis's army, and then go back to hell,
Yeah,
take your
do,
friends
do
with
whatever
you.
you want with it.
Yeah,
you can
like,
send
that's-
it back, or you can take over the world.
Although I still think they should have gone one farther, and he didn't. I don't think he should have sent him back to hell. And I think the end of the movie should have been a prologue with them like as servants in his house. And I think that would have been hilarious.
That would have been great.
Yeah, if the
actually.
kid's just like sitting in the pool and like one of Anubis' army walks
Yeah,
up with like a
but you know
lemonade,
what?
like I think that would have
He-
been hysterical.
He could have solved like world hunger or something with Anubis' army. Like he could have put.
Well, they're made out of
those
sand.
guys-
It's not like he could kill them and feed them to people.
No, but like he could have put them to
I
work.
was thinking that too,
solving,
actually.
solving every world crisis.
Too dangerous.
I'm not
Somebody
sure.
would get them.
No, there's an order to this world, and there people have to be hungry.
You know they would just start a union.
The Anubis
The
Union.
Yeah.
Anubis sand creature.
Look,
union.
we want equal pay for
The Anubis GA.
Well, but then you could send it back to hell. 'Cause you have,
Exactly.
You have,
We're starting
have
union.
the
Go to
power.
hell.
And then you're
Oh,
Walmart.
you're gone.
That's the minimum basic agreement for
This
Anubis.
is not fair.
But like, couldn't you just had like one moment and like instead of sending him hell, like do the Charleston, and then just all just
Yeah,
dancing out in the desert?
interesting. Yeah,
I
it,
would definitely
it
have that
is
moment. Chris Pratt would
interesting.
have had that moment.
Yeah.
It should have
Yeah.
ended in that moment in Monty Python where they just danced a lot at Camelot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is interesting that that wasn't even considered as an option. Like
It
you
might
can-
have been.
You can do whatever you want with this army. But instead,
In the
they just
diary of
said,
Stephen Summers,
you
like-
either destroy the world or send him to hell. That's all you get.
In his diary, he's like, I suggested that they do a dance number at the end, and everyone on set laughed at me.
Like if that had been like the ending credits, like kind of like how like 40-Year-Old Virgin all dancing over the credits, it's just Anubis' army dancing. I would have laughed.
What year
We
is
need to
this
do a
supposed
battle
to be?
of movies where they dance.
Nineteen-
in credits.
1933.
1933. So
Is it?
wouldn't they have
Oh.
been like, we could have won World War I if we had this army?
Yep.
Just hang on to him. I have a bad
Yeah.
feeling about Germany.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cut to the Holocaust. Oh.
I think
No,
I'm not
then it
laughing
wouldn't
at that.
happen.
I
if he
think
had kept the
33
army.
is
covered in
about
sand.
when Hitler
See-
was starting his stuff.
Hitler would have persuaded Anubis, and they'd be like, you know what, he's got a point, and then they would have turned on us.
Yeah,
Oh,
then
that
we
would've been a
all
problem.
been dead. Well,
Yeah.
I might have been okay, but John might have been okay.
The
But
rest.
most of you would be dead.
We'd be
Yeah.
so
Well,
dead.
no.
LA would have a population
I was
of like
German,
4.
and my family's not Jewish. You would have been okay.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Check.
All right. I think this is a perfect opportunity to move into quotes.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we did totally not talk about the Magi at all. We just
Yeah.
wanted to
Ugh,
know.
Yeah.
Those assholes.
I don't feel bad about that.
Okay.
Does anybody else?
No.
Well,
No.
I'll just say.
Oh, wait.
I really
do
like
have
that
a
actor.
question about.
One day I'll be in Resident
Did
Evil.
anyone else feel weird about the fact that the mummy tells the kid about how he's got to go into the pyramid before the 7th day or whatever,
Mhm.
and everyone accepts that as fact? Was everyone?
Yeah, mummies
okay
can't
No
lie.
one, no one fact checked.
No,
Yeah, that
because,
does
like,
kind of feel a little weird that everyone's like, so he's gonna die if he's not in there in 7 days. The mummy's kind of a liar,
Exactly.
right? Like, couldn't he just be like,
he-
well, if we,
he wants the kid to do what he wants, and so he's like, well, so that you don't do what I want, I'm going to tell you that you die
Right.
if you don't go there. So the kid believes him because he's a kid. But then when he tells his parents, they're like, oh shit, we better get you in there.
We don't actually
Would-
know
I mean,
if it
would
was
you-
true.
would you
to be
risk
honest.
it?
Yeah, they probably wouldn't. That's fair.
You wouldn't risk
yeah.
it.
I
You
mean,
Well,
besides,
but-
The
besides-
parents' insight.
they can run so fast they can outrun the sun. Why not put it to the test?
Yeah.
But also,
It's better
couldn't
than
they
not running
just
the
open
wind.
a book? Like, she
Is it-
has every book
Way
about
better.
this stuff.
Not on
They
the
didn't
road.
have a book.
The books were at home.
Yeah, they couldn't
They're
take the
in
life-
Egypt. I'm sure there's a book there.
There's no.
There's no
internet.
books in Egypt.
And the thing is, maybe she knew that it was fact, and she
no,
just got
they
reminded.
seem surprised. They seem surprised.
Maybe she
Ah.
forgot.
So
Surprised
but
that she
that
forgot.
I don't know. Maybe that didn't bother anyone else. But
That
that,
was the
really
one
bothered
thing
me.
that bothered
no,
me.
I
No,
thought
no,
about
I
it,
just,
but-
because the whole second half of the movie is based on that premise that the mummy told him this fact that no one else knew, and so I was just like, why do
Well,
we
there are a lot
believe
of,
him?
like, why
is,
did
is he
he-
not a villain that would
Why was
lie
that even a
about that?
thing? Is like the bigger question.
And
Like,
also, so even if that's true, I also didn't get why. If it's like in ancient times, like don't let the sun touch it. Put your jacket over it.
Sure. Yep.
The sun's not gonna touch it.
They weren't very smart.
They're
back then.
pretty literal with those types
Well,
of
no, it
prophecies
like
and
we said, the
rules.
kid was an idiot.
No, it wasn't that the sun had to touch the bracelet. Is that
Yeah, that's what it said. It
no,
said the sun can't
the
touch
sun
it.
can't touch the top of the pyramid.
No,
Yeah.
it couldn't
no,
touch.
it
No,
can't
it was
touch
the
the
top of the pyramid.
It was the top of the pyramid.
It was
So
the-
put your jacket over the top of the pyramid.
I thought it was.
Or
Duh.
I
It was-
misunderstood.
Just stand up there with an
The
umbrella.
bracelet
Got
needed
it.
to be in the pyramid before the sun touched the pyramid.
Oh, before the sun touches
Yeah.
the pyramid. Okay. Then why did he need to outrun the sun? Because the kid couldn't be in the sun.
No, he didn't. It wasn't about the kid. It was about the pyramid.
Yeah, it was a pyramid.
The sun was going to touch the pyramid. He needed to be in the pyramid before the sun touched it.
They seem very concerned about not being in the sun.
It just looked way cooler that way.
That's what I think it came down to. Oh, this looks cool. Do it.
That's how the movie was made.
Yeah. How does this look? Cool.
Well,
Done.
That was a golden age of
Minus
making
the
movies.
ending, because that did not look cool whatsoever.
They tried.
All right. So for quotes, I'm going to go first, so Tony doesn't take
I don't
mine.
think I have it.
I think you do.
I think he does.
I don't think I do.
Mine's technically 4 words. You said yours is only 3.
So then there's no problem. if you go
Mine
first.
is only 3.
Are you positive it's only 3?
Positive.
We're gonna find out.
Well, it
in-
depends what you qualify as a word.
There we go. So
Okay.
we're gonna find out in like no time. So my favorite quote of this movie is like the perfect trailer stinger. He's on the bus. They're going away from the mummy guards.
Oh no,
and
the mummy has returned.
Yeah, and
What,
he
that one?
almost that bad. He looks at the back window. The mummy's running at the bus. He goes, "Oh, I hate mummies."
Yeah. Classic line from this movie.
Yep.
Just short of saying the name of the movie.
Yeah.
in
Oh, the
script.
mummy
Oh,
returned.
I wrote that one down. I wrote that. That wasn't my line, but I wrote it down as one of them.
That's so good.
Oh, I hate mummies. It's after they crush his car. And
That's
he's
right.
really
No,
upset
no, no,
about it.
not my car.
That's another good line. You just took someone else's. I'm gonna go next before you say mine. We brought up the Magi or the Illuminati, whatever he was. He's so ridiculous and made to be that character. But my favorite line of his is, "By putting this on, you have started a chain reaction that could bring about the next apocalypse."
He's very
So
serious
serious about it.
So-
And then
it's
and
so
then the dad is
enunciating.
Like, lighten up. He's a kid.
Hopefully one day
Don't
I
tell
will
him
get to
that.
be in a Lord of the Rings movie.
Or at least a Resident Evil.
I'll settle for Deuce Bigelow.
I wish his career was better.
He does too.
That's the best review for this movie.
like
I
him.
wish his career was
I
better.
really like that guy.
All right, who's going next?
I'll go next. It's a Jonathan line. Because I just scrolled through IMDb and I was like, hey, that's my name.
I thought you were just saying it's your line.
Yeah, I mean, it would be something I would say too. He goes, "I say, chaps, look at this. Shrunken heads. I'd love to know how they do that." And then everyone looks at him strangely. He's like, "Oh, just curious."
It's pretty good.
That's how I would be.
I have 2 quotes that I want to say.
Not fair.
so
You
wait.
get 1.
Well, I'll wait to the end so I can say both.
Okay.
She's gonna say it anyway, whether you like it or not.
Okay, fine. I'll only say one. If
No,
you...
it's fine.
She's gonna sneak the other one in.
It is.
Yeah, just
But
the
someone
Because
else
she'll
has to
say,
go
"This is
first.
mine." I was going to do this one. I know how the sneaking works.
We're really killing time here for the people who don't
I
have
know.
those
How?
ready.
Come on.
Should I just say my one? and-
I have
Yeah,
a line.
Yeah.
Go.
All right.
Oh, I thought we were waiting for her.
I was waiting for her.
Okay,
Oh.
so my line, I had mine written down. I was right. So mine, I think she might have even said it in the first one, but I just like it because she's such a badass bitch. Anaxuna Moon says, after straight up murdering the pharaoh king, whatever he is, she says, "My body is no longer his temple."
Oh, that's from this movie.
No, she says it
I
the
think
first
she
one.
both of
said
them.
it in the first, because that whole scene just happened in the
Yeah.
first movie
Oh, okay.
also. But this time we got to see Rachel Weisz watching it because we didn't know that she also lived in those times and was his daughter.
Yeah, the first one, she still has nipples, though.
So
That is
Wow.
an important distinction.
It is. It's very important to watching the
For
sequel to
young
the first
Brian.
Brought it back
It was
around.
all
Yeah.
about the nipples.
Well, I mean, that's the whole sequelitis thing, right?
one. Yeah.
Oh, a huge lack
Next.
of nipple.
I want to go last.
Okay,
I want
fine.
to hear all yours.
I'm just gonna say one because you guys are being jerks.
You can do two.
One.
Because those are the rules.
Them's the rules. Them's the rules, yo.
All right, mine's kind of early on in the movie, but it says a good tone for the film, I think. This is my house, and I have certain rules about snakes and dismemberment.
It's a good line. I like that whole sequence.
yeah, when they're like, those are not my knickers.
I like the whole thing of Jonathan in the room with them, like, I'm forgetting the main guy's name, but
Yeah.
like when they think that he's Brendan Fraser, like
yeah,
the whole
and,
thing.
and he's going along with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
when
love
they're
that whole
when
thing.
they're like, "Where's your wife?" He's like, "Oh, you mean Evie? Oh, I'm single now."
Yeah.
Like he's not even gonna say like
Right.
I'm not him, even though they're about to kill him.
All those scenes just show how huge that house is. That like people could break into half of it, and the other people don't know.
It was when they did that shot of them kind of pulling up front. I was like, "Are they at Buckingham Palace?
Yeah,
What-
basically.
where-
I think
Why do
she's
they live
just-
there?"
She's
Camels
old
of
money,
gold.
English
Camels of
style.
gold.
But no, it's not family money because Jonathan's broke.
Camels of
her.
gold.
I thought
Right.
she had money.
No, that,
He's
no,
the
I
brother.
said that
Why
at the
would she
beginning
have
of the
money and he
podcast.
doesn't?
I just put that in your brain, I think.
Yeah, well, I thought that was true in general. I thought.
But why
she
wouldn't Jonathan also have money as her brother?
because he blew all of his money. He
Yeah.
even says that. He's like,
That
I lost
would-
my whole thing in gambling and all that other stuff.
Well, but I thought he was just referring to like whatever he grabbed in his arms in the last movie.
Was
He
he, in
dropped
the first
it.
one?
He dropped it in the desert. Yeah, he was in the first one.
I really don't remember the first one.
It's really
Tony,
good.
what's your
You
quote?
should watch it. It's much better. It's much better than this
What's
one.
my quote? Okay, this is gonna be like melodramatic because
Okay.
it's so powerful.
I'm excited.
And classic emo tap.
Classic emo tap.
Out of all the monsters, I think his name is the most fun to say.
Emo tap?
In this movie or of all time?
I think all the names in this movie are fun.
I just like saying Emotep.
You mean you don't like just saying the monster from Frankenstein? That's a good one.
All right, go, Tony.
That sounds
All right.
douchey.
This is at the end of the movie when he's hanging from the ledge. Okay, I gotta prepare for
Get
this.
in there. Get
Oh,
into the
jeez.
mic.
A knocks in the moon! A knocks in the moon! A knocks in the moon!
I
Scene.
felt bad for him in that moment. I felt bad for him because they did all of this just to be together.
Yep.
Honestly, like, yeah, he's a bad guy because he murders lots of people,
He's not that bad. of a
but he
guy.
only did it because he wanted to be alive to be with the woman he loves.
They wanted
And
to
to rule
poke
the
one more
world.
time. you
And
know?
to rule the world, because
Yeah,
they
Well,
worked
okay.
together.
Okay.
They could have just walked away.
But that's
Okay,
just
but-
to impress her.
This movie, they wanted to rule the world. In the last one, they just wanted to be alive.
And poke.
And did he want to rule
And
the world, or
poke.
did she want to rule the
I
world?
think she.
Because
I
she's the
don't
one
know.
that brought him back to rule the world.
Well, no, the guy that brought her along, he's the guy who wanted to rule the world. That dude.
The
curator?
museum
Right,
curator?
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah.
he's the one who really
You
made
too
this whole
must
plan.
sacrifice yourself to save me.
Oh,
he
yeah, that's
he
funny.
created that whole plan. So the mummy just wanted to be back with her, and she just wanted to be back with him.
Well, they fucked up.
So they weren't really bad people.
They were definitely bad people.
When
They
of the-
were products of their circumstance. She was
Just like
she was
Frankenstein's
a
monster.
concubine that was constantly raped. I'm gonna bring up raped by the
Arr.
freaking pharaoh over and over
Yarg.
again.
Yeah, they had no like psychiatrist
That was the thing. That's
psychiatrist
like saying
back
a-
then for her to talk
arranged marriage is rape.
to. We can't blame her. She's a
Yeah.
product of
It
society.
kind of
It
is.
No, it's not. Not if she doesn't talk. I'm kidding. No, one of my favorite parts
Oh,
of
Tony.
going back to their relationship, Emotaps and Anoxin and Moons, when they start opening fire in the grassy area,
Is that an innuendo?
he's like, "Don't worry, they can't hurt me." But they can kill everybody else, including her.
Including
And
her,
his
that's true,
thought was, "Don't
including
worry,
her.
they can't hurt me."
No, but he's a good guy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he's not a bad person.
No.
Though. Just listen to Mackenzie's defense.
No,
Well, he's
I'm
not a
not- I'm
person.
not
He's more of
saying-
a mummy.
Yeah.
I'm saying yes, he's a bad guy, but his
Does not make you
ultimate
bad.
goal was to be with her, and so was hers. So they are bad. Yes, they're the bad guys because they're gonna kill everybody to get to their goal if that's what it takes. But they're. I don't think he wanted to rule the world. I think he was just doing it.
He says it
That's
twice.
the only
Okay,
like,
maybe
thing
he
that makes
does.
a person
I
bad.
think
They
what-
want me to
okay,
rule
but
the
in the
world.
either
first
way, I think
movie-
this is
in
a
the
rabbit
first
hole
movie,
that
he
we're
didn't wanna do
done
that.
with.
What I
We got-
would say, what I think Mackenzie is getting at is that we really
That
need
it's
a
a
nice.
romance story.
We need a Disney twist, like Wicked style, where we really see it from his point of
Yes,
We
I
do,
would love to see
sure.
because
I would
Anoxia
watch
Moon
that, I'll
is
be honest.
Such a great character. I would love to see that.
I would totally watch that.
She's Elphaba, except she murders everyone.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the rating system, which is going to be difficult. I can almost guarantee it, but I think that's fine.
Is it?
I think so. It's going to be self-aware sequels. Like I said, it's going to be difficult. But again, I'm okay with that. I don't want to go first because I don't want to. If anyone does come up with one of these, I have like 6 locked and loaded.
I
'cause I've
hope
been
you
thinking
go
about
with
this
the
for a while.
Rescuers Down Under.
You actually probably could.
I do, but that's self-aware.
Yeah, it's very self-aware. There's lots of references to the first one. That sort of
Yeah.
stuff. That's what I mean by self-aware. It's like things that are just like where it's almost winking at the screen again.
Hangover too.
Yep, that's a good one.
That's one of my 6.
Can I
That's
do
not
one
right.
that's like supposed to be?
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'm gonna say The Naked Gun 2.5.
Nice. Very nice.
Pretty good.
Because it's The Naked Gun 2.5. It's The Naked Gun, but again, and they do so many of the same jokes in so much the same way, and I enjoy it because it really works because that's what it's supposed to be, but it fulfills the requirements of what you asked.
All right, I got mine.
Okay.
Going back to the things that I don't understand why you don't like it. Hot Shots Part 2.
Ugh.
Yep.
Oh, I hate that movie.
It's very self-aware, but also hilarious.
Is it?
It is to me. I know you don't like it.
I really
but
don't.
there's plenty of other people that do.
I think
And
I'm
I'm one of
outnumbered.
them. And it is just, it takes all of the absurdity from the first one and just ramps it up.
Okay.
Like, and I think this one ramped up from the first one pretty well, even though I can't really remember the first one very well. I need to fix that again. But I really enjoy Hot Shots Part 2, and I'm never going to stop enjoying it.
Nor should you.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Just watch it with someone else next time.
That's fine.
Ooh. I'll go next. Airplane 2.
That was one of my 6,
I've
yeah.
never seen
Another
Airplane
Leslie
2.
Nielsen movie.
Oh.
Just
Anything
name some,
more with
just
that?
name some Leslie Nielsen sequels.
just-
You'll be good.
That it is painfully self-aware of itself. You're just watching like, okay, I'm watching the first one again?
Well,
Down
it's
to like a lot of
satire. So
yeah.
it's satire of satire. So it's
It basically eats itself in terms of satire.
yeah.
I'll go with
Ouroboros.
one that's not satirical.
Okay.
Too Fast, Too Furious. It's all in the title.
Ah,
Oh,
jeez.
man.
I love
That's my
that.
least favorite one in the whole
I
franchise.
love movies that have puns in for
Oh,
titles.
I do. Yeah.
I love that movie.
I love that movie only because it gave us Tyrese.
Yep.
That's really, I don't really need the rest of it.
I love that movie because every time I rewatch it, I like it more, and I don't know why. But every time I'm like, no, I don't think this is bad. I'm pretty.
All right, you got
It's-
that. I
it's
got Hot Shots and the Rescuers.
It's a fun movie.
It is.
Wasn't as good as the first. Come on.
No, but it never promised it was going to be.
And then there was a really bad one
It
and then
was
a bunch of good
called
ones.
Too
Oh wait.
Fast, Too Furious.
It's just,
So I don't know what you can really.
the
expect.
production design was terrible. Having a super
think the-
duper white guy trying to be a Cuban.
I think the title got you perfectly ready for the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think the
it
title
did.
matches the movie perfectly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact they have a race car that's a convertible, that's where you're not out. Like, that's where I'm like, oh, come on. No, that doesn't work.
Sorry, the super white guy trying to be a Cuban is really where it gets.
I'm
me.
more
What,
okay
was
with
the convertible too fast or was it too furious?
I think that one was too furious because that Tyrese in it.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go because it looks like Tony's struggling with his.
I am.
So mine is a far better movie than the one that we did today, but I think I can still tie it in. I'm going for The Evil Dead 2. It's a very self-aware movie because it uses parts of the first movie in it. Not like film and whatnot, but they use like actual like plot points from the first movie in this one to be this movie. But like The Mummy and The Mummy Returns, The Mummy was a very kind of serious like adventure film. It had funny parts and had some levity to it, but for like all its intents and purposes, it was very much a monster movie. And then the second one, they're like, fuck the monster movie. It's gonna be fun and it's gonna be adventure and we're gonna have a good time the whole time. And The Evil Dead 2 kind of did the same thing.
Not bad.
The Evil Dead was a very serious film. I mean, it had funny moments, but it was very much more serious. Evil Dead 2 kind of went, this can be a little bit fun.
Yep.
So,
All right. Nice job.
thank you.
Give Tony
Come
one
on,
of your
Tony. There's so many
remainders.
sequels.
I mean, I know. That's what makes it kind of hard.
Just do Hangover 2.
Empire Strikes
I'm not doing Hangover 2. I'm
Oh,
going
man,
to go
Hangover
with.
is so bad.
I'm going to go with Dumb and Dumber 2.
Yep.
Ugh,
That's another one of mine.
Spot on.
I hated that movie.
Was that
I
Dumb
don't-
and
I don't
Dumber?
need to
Wait,
say
Road?
was
anything
that the
else.
one that just
No.
came out recently?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, the true sequel.
See, I thought
The
you
true
liked
sequel.
this
I didn't actually
movie.
see that one.
Never actually saw it.
No,
But
I'm-
based on the preview,
okay.
I could tell
Because
what
that's
it
the
was.
one where it's like current. It's like 20 years later.
It's
and
one of the
them
worst
has a
things I've
daughter.
ever
But I
seen.
thought you liked The Mummy. I thought you enjoyed this movie.
But yeah, based on
I
the
did like The
trailers,
Mummy.
it looks like they used all the
Dumb
same
and Dumber
jokes.
2 is terrible.
Let
I'm
him
so
defend
confused.
it.
Okay.
Oh, we're rating it.
Yeah.
I never actually
That's-
saw it.
That's why it's called a rating system.
He didn't actually watch Mummy Returns
Well,
either.
I mean, if you can support your claim,
But
you don't
he-
have to have seen it. Just
Um,
describe why you want to use that movie.
I'm terrible at these rating
You've
systems.
seen the trailers, so you basically saw the movie, right?
Well,
Yeah.
No, because the trailers make it look good.
no, it
I don't think they
didn't.
do.
But you don't understand how terrible they are as characters and people in the second movie. They
They are
don't
s-
show that in the trailer.
They're pretty terrible people in the first movie.
They,
No.
they,
Yeah,
they
not-
ramp it
not
up
like this.
10 times. Like, they're not even likable in the second film.
They're really dumb.
They trick a blind child in the first
It gets
film.
worse.
Hilarious. Well, they duct tape the head.
Like,
That's
Throw
awful.
up.
I'm gonna bring it to this movie
Okay.
because the first Dumb and Dumber is one of my favorite comedies of all
Oh, for
time, and
sure.
the first Mummy is one of my favorite action movies from that era of all time, and the sequels don't come anywhere close to it. No matter how not bad The Mummy Returns is, it's still not The Mummy. When you're going to pick a mummy movie, you're going to go for the first one every time.
Nice.
See, you had
I'll
a
give you
really
That
good.
worked. That worked.
Yep.
I disagree with you because I only
Evidence for
own
your
The Mummy Returns. I
example.
don't own The Mummy.
Why?
Why the Mummy is
We're-
so
Somebody
much
bought me
better.
The Mummy Returns
It's
for
so
Christmas,
much
and I
better.
never bothered to buy the
Wow,
first
how
one.
is that an argument then?
Yeah, that's not an argument. You
I
were
can still-
gifted it.
But I didn't bother to complete the collection.
You should, because
Well,
they
we
have the
definitely
Blu-ray.
don't need the third one.
And you also didn't
but
bother
Well,
to
I mean,
throw
I think
away
that you
The
can get
Mummy
the trilogy
Returns.
now for like $15, so you might as well.
But I don't really want to own the third one. Like, I even saw the third one in theaters, and then normally I don't regret it, but I kind of regretted that one.
Ouch.
Wow.
I'd like to see the list of movies that you regret seeing, because the list of movies that you like is pretty awful as well.
Ow!
Oh, is it?
You like Resident Evil, all of them.
Those are awesome.
I don't
shows.
Those
love.
are great
I don't
movies.
love. I love some of the Resident Evil. So the other ones, I'm just enjoy them because they're Resident Evil because of Alice. The last Resident Evil was terrible.
That one was a
Do you
bad.
regret
full-
seeing that?
I regret buying it for
See,
Christmas.
you don't regret seeing it.
I
That's why I
don't-
want a list of the movies you regret.
Anyhow, okay, so that's it for us. I'm going to say bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.